Hello, welcome back. Good Monday morning to you. This is Michelle Prince. I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties in the beginning here. You know, we love technology and we are so grateful for Facebook to give us this platform to come to you live and share what we want to share with you to encourage you, help you to have the best week ever. And sometimes technology, there's issues. So for those of us who joined us earlier and couldn't hear anything, thank you for coming back and hopefully you can hear us just fine. But please give us a shout out. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and we want to learn from you. We want to know what you're doing this week. What do you have going on this week? You know, all of us are busy. I know that. I'm a busy person just like you. And today is Monday. For those of us in the US, it's Monday morning. I know people are joining from all over the world, and so it may be your evening, but what is on your list for this week that you really want to accomplish? You know, you have the ability to accomplish it. And I'm going to help you today by giving you some tips and some tools to help you get more done this week. But first of all, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for coming back. Who knows? Technology happens. Things happen, right? Hello from North Carolina. Myronette, Nikki from Georgia. We have Donna from the Philippines. Welcome. So happy you're here today. Who else do we have on here? Let us know where you are, where you're from, who you are, where you're from, but just welcome everyone. You know, this is such a privilege to come to you and share things that are going to help you to have the best week ever. My name is Michelle Prince. I am a Ziglar Legacy Certified Trainer. I'm a Ziglar Motivational Speaker, and I am so passionate about helping people to find their message, really. It's all about finding your passion, finding your purpose, and then getting it out there in a way that can make a difference in other people's lives. And that's what I do, and I feel very honored to do that. But I'm super passionate about the legacy of Zig Ziglar. And, you know, my story with Zig started a long time ago. I was 23 years old when I went to work for Zig Ziglar in his headquarters in Carrollton, Texas. And to say that was life-changing is an understatement. It was the most incredible experience in my life, and it set the stage for who I am today as a person. It also set the stage for why I'm so passionate about encouraging you and sharing his messages and continuing to keep that legacy alive, because you really truly were born to win, and you have everything within you right now to be the best version of you. So thank you for joining us. All right, who else is out there? We have Jay from Charlotte. Good morning. There we go. Yeah, Jeff, thank goodness we have the audio back. Yeah, technology, it happens. Michael from South Carolina, or Mike from South Carolina. We have Kim from Appleton, Wisconsin. Welcome. We have Rodica from Romania. Awesome to have you. Beth from Alabama. We have Betsy from Miami, Virginia. Welcome. Hello, Roberto from Mexico City. Love Mexico. It's one of my favorite places to visit. Love the beaches, love everything there. Good morning, Tony, James from Michigan. A lot of Michigan folk here today. I love it. And we also have friends from India. Hello from Texas. I'm coming to you today from McKinney, Texas. I live in McKinney. This is my home office, and I'm excited that I get to start my week with you. You know, Zig has said before that motivation is a lot like bathing. You know, you don't just do it once and expect it to stick. You have to do it every day. So every day I have to fill my mind with the good, the pure, the positive, and things that are going to get my mind and my day off on the right start. So for those of you joining, that is exactly what you're doing. You're filling your mind with things that are going to encourage you. They're going to bring out the best in you. And I'm super excited you're here. Hello from Ramel from the Philippines, Elaine from Davenport, Florida. Vietnam, and we're happy you're here. Good morning, Sally from Florida. Florida is one of my favorite places too. You know, I love Texas. I would never leave Texas because this is my home. But if I had to go anywhere, it would probably be Florida, but it would have to be on the beach. As you can tell from my home office, if you walked in here, you would see that it's all decorated like I'm at the beach. So it's definitely my happy place. I want to talk today about getting more done in less time, because this is something that I hear over and over and over again in my coaching and my speaking. Is I hear people say, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to accomplish great things. I want to make a difference, but I don't have the time. Is there anybody out there that can relate to that? I know you can, because that's why you're here today. But the thing is, we say that, but it's really not true, because we all have 24 hours in a day. We choose what we do with those 24 hours. So it's never going to be about having the time, right? It's not, because we all have the same amount of time. It's about making the time. And making the time is so crucial. But before you can even make the time, and what I mean by make the time is putting things in place to make you more productive, putting in maybe more effective, efficient time management systems. But before you can do any of that, you have to know what you want to accomplish. And as simple as that sounds, this is where I see a lot of people get stuck. They get stuck in the minutia of just going through life every day, doing things, they're staying busy, they're going from the moment they wake up to the moment they hit their head on the pillow at night, but yet they're not accomplishing anything significant. They're not accomplishing anything meaningful. And they're not accomplishing anything that ties in with their goals, their dreams, their aspirations. And isn't life too short to just do things for no reason, or to have no joy, or be overwhelmed all the time? No, that's not what we were designed for. We were designed to be happy and healthy and flourish, and to share our talents and our gifts with other people. But when we're so busy and bogged down, it's really hard to do. So I want to talk about productivity, and I'll give you some ideas of what we can do and things you can implement today. But first, I want to talk about what it is not. Just being productive is not just working hard. I know you all know somebody who literally is going 1,000,000 miles an hour. They never stop. They're always out of breath because they're so busy. You know what I'm talking about. But yet when you ask them what they really accomplished, there's really not a whole lot there. So working hard does not mean being productive. It just means you're busy. It just means you're going and going and going and going and going. But working smart is knowing exactly what you're supposed to be working on at any given time. It's having the absolute clarity on what do you want to accomplish? What do you really want in life? That's what it's about. It's not about just working hard. The other thing, it's not just about, making this long to-do list and hoping and wishing and praying that it's going to happen and you're going to get it all done. I think we set a lot of unrealistic expectations for ourselves and for our time. And that puts us in a position where we begin our day already overwhelmed. There's no possible way to wake up and look at a to-do list of 20, 30 things on it and not feel stress, right? So it's not so much making the list and just hoping that you're going to get it all done. It's really having a more strategic game plan of what exactly must be done. What are the priorities? And we'll talk a little bit more about that too. And then finally, believe it or not, it's not a juggling act. It's not just managing your family, managing your career, managing finances, your personal life, your spiritual life. Because if you're juggling, what's happening to those balls? They're all up in the air. And when the balls are in the air, yes, you are touching them. You are working a little bit with your career. You're spending time with your family a little bit. You're doing these things, but not for very long. And what happens is, over time, our priorities, if they're not really focused on what they should be focused on, they can begin to help us to feel unfulfilled, unhappy, and that's when things start to really spiral. So it's not a juggling act. It's really a balancing act. And that balancing act starts with clarity. What do you really want to accomplish? And I'm going to give you some tools to do that today. All right, so who else we have? Jericho from the Philippines. Good evening. So it's your evening. It's our morning here. We're happy you're here. I want to ask you all to tell me, what are some of the things that you want to accomplish that you have not yet done? Or things that you feel like it's a lack of time preventing you from doing it? I want to help you. I want to encourage you. Now, I already said, though, it's never a lack of time. It's a lack of making the time. But I want to know, what are some goals that you've had? What are some things that you've been wanting to accomplish that you haven't done yet? That it's because you just haven't found the time or made the time yet. And we'll see if we can do that. Tony says she longs for clarity. I love that you say that, because it sounds so simple. We should all have clarity, right? We should know what we want in our life, what we want to accomplish. But the truth is, it's so difficult unless you take the time to really figure that out. And let's do that right now. Let's figure out, what do you want? So one of the things that I do in my productivity workshops, and one of the things we're going to be talking about in a free webinar that we're going to be doing, Tom Ziglar and I, and lots of great resources are going to be coming to you in a free webinar. The details are at the top of the page. is we're going to be talking a lot about productivity. And the first thing with being productive is having clarity of knowing specifically what you want to accomplish. And we'll go in more detail, but I want to give you just an overview right now so that it'll entice you. But I want you to go ahead and sign up for that webinar because it's totally free. And again, we are here just to encourage you. We would be doing you a disservice if we didn't continuously give you opportunities to dig deeper, and that's what that webinar is for. But clarity, what is clarity? Clarity is knowing without any doubt specifically what you want to accomplish in a particular area of your life. So, for example, think about your career. What do you really want to accomplish in your career? Are you in a position where you have opportunities for growth? Are you working with people that you love? Do you have your own business? Do you have potential to build your own business? Where are you in terms of your career? Not necessarily financially quite yet, we'll get to that. But in your career, are you doing work that's meaningful to you? I feel so very, very fortunate that I love what I do. I love what I do. I do this for my full-time profession. And it's so exciting to me, but I'll be honest, it wasn't always that way. In fact, I told you I started working for Zig in my 20s, but I ended up going a different route, and I ended up going into software sales for many years. Now, it was a wonderful opportunity. It taught me a lot, but it also took me very far from my passion, my purpose, which is what I'm doing now. But it was part of the journey. I had to go through that. But the thing is, when you find something that you love and you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. So for me, I feel very fortunate that I get to do this every day. But what about you? Do you love what you do? And there's a great tool that Zig Ziglar created years and years ago, and you can find these resources at Ziglar.com, and it's called the Wheel of Life. And I want to share it with you. In fact, I'm going to show you a picture now. It's going to be a little backwards because of the video, but the Wheel of Life, as you can see, it's all of the different areas of who you are as a person. So you're more than just your career. You're more than just your family. You are actually a combination of all of these different areas. Your physical life, right? Your health, your mental, how your mind works, what you think on and focus on. You have your spiritual life, whatever that means to you. You have your career, you have your financial life, but you also have a personal life and a family life. So when you're looking at setting goals and being more productive, if you're not looking at every single one of these categories, you're really going to end up in a place that is not fulfilled. You may be successful in one area, but if you are working only on career and you're neglecting your family, over time that's going to take its toll. If you're only working on, your personal life and you spend no time building your career or your finances, that's going to take its toll too. So the best place to start is in this wheel of life and putting yourself in the center and saying, honestly, how am I doing in each one of these areas? I'm going to stop now. I see a lot of people with comments. Michelle says, I want to publish a workbook and become a speaker. I created and loved creating it. 122-page workbook that I learned to use. There's a lot more to it, so it's not showing me the whole thing. But congratulations, Michelle, on doing that. That is something that is my passion. I have published many, many books now. I publish books for myself, but I also do for other people. And it is honestly one of the most satisfying, life-changing experiences of your life. Not so much just because you did something, but because what you put in that book, it will change people's lives, and that starts something that is just so amazing and exciting. Helen says, or asks, what can I expect in the future? Olga, how can I discover my vocation? Give me a second on that, Olga, and I'll jump back into it. One of the things we talked about last week, I did a video and it talked a lot about your passion and your experience and how the combination of those two is really where you should put your energy, because that's really anything tied to your purpose, your passions is going to be something that will help you to be the best version of yourself. So Curtis says, it's good to know yourself and your desires and needs and find a lifestyle to fit what you need to be fulfilled and happy and have free time. Absolutely. So let's get back to this wheel of life. Now, what I would love for you to do, you don't have to have this actual wheel with you, but just grab a piece of paper, and on a piece of paper write down a circle, and then on the circle write down the different spokes of the wheel. You have your physical life, your finances, your career, your family life, your personal life, your spiritual life, and your mental. Okay. And like I said, you can go to Ziglar.com and get this. But the point isn't so much to do this, keep it complicated. I want you to keep it simple. But right now, I want you honestly to rank yourself in each one of these categories from a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being you are rocking it. This is an area that you are just doing amazing and things are going so, so well for you. A 1 in that area would mean things are terrible. You need some serious attention to this particular area of your life. But my guess is you fall somewhere in between more than likely. But from a scale from 1 to 10, how are you doing in your career? I already gave you some ideas to think about, but do you like what you do? Do you love the people you work with? Do you feel fulfilled? Are there opportunities for advancement? Things like that. And then let's move on to our finances. Now, finances are not everything, but they're sure a big part of our life. So how are you doing there? It's not so much, are you making enough money? It's, are you thinking ahead are you putting money aside? Do you have the ability for savings? For some of you, you may be saving money for college, for your kids. What about retirement? So thinking about your life and on a scale from 1 to 10 in your finances, how are you doing? Are there opportunities there? Are you saving? All of those things are questions to stimulate thoughts on how you're doing in that area, and go ahead and do that. Thank you, all of you, for your likes and shares. This is awesome. We're having a great, we have so many people on from all over the world here. I love it. Let's move on, though, to our physical life. Now, physical is really your health. And in terms of physical, I want you to think about how are you doing, are you eating the foods that you know you should eat? Are you taking good care of yourself? Are you working out? Are you getting regular checkups at the doctor? How are you doing from a scale from 1 to 10 in the area of your physical health? How are you doing? And rate yourself between a 1 and a 10. Then we're going to move into mental. Now, mental is the mind is so powerful. And at Ziglar, we are huge believers that what you put into your mind is really the direction in which you're going to go. So when you put in the things that motivate you and inspire you and encourage you, you're going to go in those directions. But what about you? Now, you're here on this video, so that means you are taking care of your mental in some way. But could you do more? Are you reading good books? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you buying, resources, CDs, DVDs, things that will help enforce and reinforce the things that you're learning? Are you attending seminars and workshops? What are you doing to keep your mind sharp and crisp and going in the direction of what you really want to accomplish in life? So go ahead and rate yourself 1 to 10 in the area of mental. Thank you, Lauren. You are awesome too. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate you're here. Kim, we're glad you're here too. All right, now let's move on to spiritual. Now, spiritual is something different for everybody. So what I want you to do is I want you to rank what it means to you. For some of you that may mean, are you going to church? Do you have quiet time? Do you have time to, for me it would be, am I reading my Bible? For others it could be, are you having, taking time to really meditate and all that? Whatever the spiritual aspect of your life is, rate yourself honestly. How are things going in that area? Is there room for improvement? Is there maybe some things that you could do to make that area better? Or do you feel like you are just doing, this is a great area for you? And again, ranking it from 1 to 10, 10 being you are just right at the top there. And then we're going to move into personal. Now, personal is so important. If you are busy like I am a working mom, and I have a husband, I have, my full-time business, and I have things that keep me busy 24/7, just like you. But if I don't take time for myself, then I have nothing to give to anyone else. I'd love, for those of you who have ever been on an airplane, you've heard the flight attendant say, in case of an emergency, if the oxygen mask were to come down, what do they say to do with it? Do you put it on yourself first, or do you put it on the child? They say to put it on yourself, which, a lot of times we think, well, no, we have to take care of everyone else first. No, the thing is, in life, and this is so true, if you do not take care of yourself, you have nothing to give to anyone else. So you have to feed yourself first. So the personal part of your wheel, the personal part of your life is, what are you doing that you love? What are you doing that lights you up? Are you spending time with people that matter to you? Are you maybe... like for me, I love to write and I love to create. So am I taking time to do that? If I'm not, then I'm not giving myself what I need. So think about your personal life. You know, for you guys, maybe you enjoy going and playing some golf, or, you know, maybe you enjoy working in the yard, or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Are you getting enough time to do that? Or is all of your energy spent on family, work, and everyone else? If this is an area where you are not taking care of yourself, you have to rank yourself honestly, but then we're going to spend some time figuring out how we can improve on that. And then finally is family. Now, family can be your immediate family. You know, for me, I have 2 kids. I have 2 teenage boys. But I also have my extended family. You know, I have my parents. I have aunts, grandparents, all of that. So whatever family is to you, I want you to rank, how are you doing there? How are the relationships? Are there some relationships within the family that may be strained? Is there room for improvement there? Are you working so much that maybe you don't have time to spend with your family? Those things are big red lights to you, or should be to you, that this is an area that maybe you're not giving enough focus, where you're spending all of your energy in possibly career, but not enough with family. So go ahead and rank yourself. Now again, the categories in the wheel of life are, there's career, financial, there's physical, mental, spiritual, personal, and family. And the reason this is so important, and I know I'm going through this really fast, and I encourage you to join our webinar that's coming up so we can spend more time on this, but the reason this is so important is, no matter how productive of a time management system you have, or how great of intentions you have of getting something done, if you don't know exactly what you want to accomplish in the areas that matter, time management means nothing. Time management is really silly if you think about it, if it's not to get you closer to your goals, to your dreams, to the things that matter, to the people that matter. So starting in this area is the most important part, because it's all about that clarity. All right, we're getting a lot of comments. Welcome from Vietnam. Thank you for joining us from Thailand. Excited you're here. You do need to spend, Curtis says, you need to spend time with your family sooner rather than later. You know, everyone knows this. It's all common knowledge. However, somehow we tend to put things that matter most on the back burner. In fact, I want you all to think about, what is a goal that you've had that you've put on the back burner? Something that is so important to you. Maybe you've wanted to start your own business. Maybe you've wanted to take a big trip somewhere. Or maybe you've wanted to write a book. What is it that you've really wanted to do, but yet it keeps getting put on that back burner? You don't have the time, maybe you don't have the money, the resources, but what is it for you? I'm curious. Hi, Marcos from Houston, Texas. Rania from Tunisia, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Toronto, glad you're here. Thank you, Sajid. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Joseph from Paris, we're glad you're here. We're talking about clarity. We're talking about knowing specifically what you want to accomplish, because no matter how effective your time management is, if you don't have those things in your calendar that matter, there's really no point. So Martine says her goal, something that she may have been putting on the back burner, is to be reunited with her family by Christmas. Oh, I love that goal. And like Curtis said, there is nothing more important than family. We tend to, or I will say, I know for myself, we can overlook that. We can take things for granted, but until somebody is gone, you don't realize how precious life is. Hello from India. Find some good personnel. Okay, that sounds great. You want to find some folks to help you, it sounds like, with your business. Hello from Phoenix. Marcella, we're glad you're here. San Antonio, Anthony. What else? But what are some of the goals? I want to know, what are some things that you've put on the back burner? You know, for many, many years. So I told you that when I worked for Zig, living my passion every day. Loved it. That was in my 20s. And when I left to pursue a different career, to go climb a corporate ladder versus follow my passion, I was successful, but I wasn't fulfilled. And when I finally got to a point of thinking, well, what do I really want to accomplish? I did this exercise. I really, truly did. And I took a look at, let me look at my life. How am I doing? And there were some specific areas that I just wasn't doing as well in my wheel of life as others. My career was going well, but my personal life was struggling because I wasn't very happy. I wasn't spending time in my mental, filling my mind with all the good things that will get me closer to my goals. My spiritual life was lacking. But it brought me to a place where I stopped and really reevaluated. what do I really, really want? And a goal that I had for so many years that I didn't dare tell anyone, I wanted to write a book. And even just saying it out loud for a long time scared me because I thought, well, who do I think I am? You know, I'm no Zig Ziglar. Who's going to read my book? Have you ever had a fear like that? Have you ever thought, well, yeah, I'd love to do that, but ew, what if nobody reads it, or what if nobody likes it? That went through my mind. But what happened was that the passion of writing that book became so much stronger than the fear of not doing it, or the fear of doing it, I should say, that overtook me. And I went in the direction of that. And I did write my first book back in 2008. And it was definitely a pivotal moment for me because it opened up this world that I now do for my business full time. But it started with the clarity. I had to get honest with myself. I really want to write this book. Yes, I have fears. Yes, I don't know what to do. I had never written a book before. But the thing is, no matter what you want to accomplish in life, there's a coach out there. There's a mentor. There's an organization. There are resources for you to learn to do what you want to do. You just have to do it. So as soon as I got over myself and I actually just did it, that's when things started to change. And that's why I'm coming to you today to encourage you. You have a dream, you have a goal, whether it be in business, personal life, but something that matters, something that when you do it, it's going to open up opportunities for you you can't even imagine yet. Doors of opportunities are going to fly open that you don't even know exist. That's what happened to me, and I know it will happen for you. So I want to hear from a few others. So here Martine says, scared of failure again. Yes, you know what? I think everyone's scared of failure. Who wants to fail? Nobody wants to fail. But you know, if you don't fail, you don't learn. And so many of the most successful people in this world that we hold up on pedestals to say their success actually are successful because of the failures that they had. All of the things that they tried that didn't work led them to do what did work. You see, it's not just a one-shot deal in life. We have to keep trying and keep moving and keep going. You know, I believe we're here for a reason. I believe we all have a purpose. And the sooner we find that, the happier we are. But failure is a part of that purpose, right? No one ever said that I'll use the writing a book example. Nobody ever said you're going to write a book and the first words you put on paper are going to be a perfection. No. It's a process, and sometimes you win and sometimes you fail, but with every failure you get closer to the win. Miss Kay says, thank you, Miss Kay. This is so lovely. You're speaking directly to me. I needed this, and I'm still in the stage of fear, but I'll begin working on my dreams now. Yes, that makes my day because I come to you as I'm just like you. And I have fears and I have dreams. And a lot of times we can let those fears get in the way of those dreams. But I also believe that when you push through those fears and do it even with the fear, right? Even whoever says you're not going to feel the fear, but do it anyway. Because what if it takes you to a whole new level in your personal life or a whole new level in your professional life? And if it doesn't work, then you are no worse off than you are right now, right? But what if it does? And so that's where I get excited. And I thank you for all your loves and your shares. I love seeing all the hearts popping up here because I believe it with all my heart that you have something within you that needs to come out. And you're listening today for a reason. Every single person here has a purpose. Your purpose, maybe you've discovered it, maybe you haven't, but you're going to discover it. And when you do, that's when things start to change. And the fun thing about finding, and following your dreams and just doing it, even if you're fearful, is seeing how other people react. We inspire other people when we step into our greatness. And what I mean by stepping into your greatness is we all have gifts, we all have a purpose, all that I've said already. But when we own it and when we say, you know what, you're right, I do have that and I am going to do that and I am going to step out and I am afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway, that inspires other people. I think it's one of the reasons why people love Zig Ziglar so much. When Zig would get up there, he was a very successful motivational speaker, an author, and a world changer. But he wouldn't get up there and tell you how great he was. He got up there and told you his story and how he started. And all of the challenges he had and all of the setbacks and, how he was in sales and he had to sell his car and his house and everything. I mean, all the struggles he had was because, one, he's human. But the reason I think people love those stories is it gives them hope. Well, He's no different than you. I am no different, and we all struggle. But when you push through and you do it anyway, that's when you give other people hope, and that's really great. Amy says, just do it without regret. Absolutely. Fear is face everything and rise. Amanda, I love that. I hadn't heard that analogy, but I absolutely love that. Somebody, Amara says, I want to join what you are doing to have a platform. How do I start? You know, you have a platform already, actually. The difference is it a platform of one or is it a platform of a million? It really doesn't matter. You see, we all have a voice. We all have something to share with somebody else that will make a difference in their life. We do. I mean, we just do. Think about, what do people come to you for advice? Or what would you say to somebody if you were sitting with them one-on-one? The platform is taking that gift, if you will, and then sharing it in a bigger way, through a book, through speaking, through videos like this. But the first thing is that clarity of figuring out, well, what is your story? What is it that you could share with somebody else to make a difference? The Wheel of Life is a great tool for helping you get a snapshot of where you are now, right? What's working, what's not working, but it's not intended to stay there. So if you are maybe struggling in your personal life or your spiritual life, it doesn't mean you stay there. It just means from this point on, you're going to put some goals and things in place to help you get better in that area. And if maybe one of the things you want to do is speak or build a platform, then taking 10 minutes a week, 30 minutes a week, a day, whatever you have, to focus in on, what is my message? What could I share with somebody else that could make a difference? Whether it's one person, 1,000 people, or 10,000 people. The platform is really your story. All right, who else we have here? So Amanda says, focus, follow one course until successful. I love that. I love these little acronyms. I want to talk about, so we did the Wheel of Life and that clarity, and clarity is key. If you don't know what you want, you're guaranteed you won't get it. True, right? You know, think of your mind like a computer. And I have a car that has GPS. I'm sure most of you know what GPS is. You know, when you're in a car, you program in where you are and where you want to go. Pretty simple. Point A is where you are. Point B is where you want to go. Okay, program it in, no problem. Well, what does a GPS do? It takes you directly to where you're programmed to go. Now, most of the time, you may not know what street it's going to take you on. You may not know exactly what roadblocks will be there. But at the end of the day, as long as you get where you want to go on time, we're pretty happy with the GPS taking us there. Well, your mind is exactly the same way. What you program in, what you want, that clarity of your goals for all of these different areas of your life, your mind has no choice but to go in the direction of that. Does that make sense? So if you have a goal to speak and to write and to do all of these things, then your mind, as you're putting that goal in your mind, you're going to start going in the direction of that. Now, sometimes you may not know what road you're going to end up on. A lot of times you can't plan, and there's going to be detours, and sometimes it's going to take a lot longer than you think. But eventually, you will go in the direction of what you think about most. So that's why this clarity and really defining what you want before anything else is so important. Because even if you don't have a direct plan, you're still going to end up there. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because I get so passionate about this. And when we're just going through life and we're just settling and we're just, you know, okay, just getting by, well then, yeah, we're just kind of going along just like a car does. But are we ever going to get where we really want to go? For example, I live in McKinney, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. If I were to program in my GPS that I want to go to Dallas, Texas from McKinney, I would get to Dallas. But what would happen if I had a speaking engagement in Dallas at a specific address? If I don't put that specific address in the GPS, I'm not going to get there. I'll just be driving around and around and around Dallas, but I won't get there. And that's when people say, I want to be successful, or I want to make more money, or I want to lose the weight. It's fine, and you may get in that vicinity of what you want, but unless you specify, I want to lose 12 pounds by X date, or I want to make an additional $2,000 a month by the end of this year, with specifics of how you're going to do that. Or let's say you want to buy a house. Instead of saying I want a new house, you say I want a 3-bedroom home with an office, with a pool, whatever it is you want. But that clarity, the specifying of it, is what gets you there, not general, which will just get you in that area and not really what you want. I hope that makes sense. So Lisa's here from McKinney too. Welcome. I love it. My hometown. Emery says intention setting, absolutely. Where you will go in the direction of what you think about most, and you must really specify and get clear on that so that you go where you want to go. I was thinking of a quote this morning as I was getting ready to come share with you today, and it's one of my favorite quotes by Henry Ford, and it is, he says, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So simple, right? Is that the simplest? But what that means is what you believe you will achieve is really the reality of what you're going to get. And what that means is when you set a goal, when you know with clarity what you want to accomplish, and then you make a priority to put that in place, to start planning 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, doing something toward that goal, and then believing that you have the ability to do it, you're more likely to have it happen. And belief for me was the number one factor of when I shifted from being unfulfilled and unhappy and kind of miserable in my profession to living a life that I love and sharing my gifts with other people was a lack of belief. I mentioned I wanted to write a book for a long time. For years, I had the desire, but I didn't believe I could do it. I thought to myself, who do I think I am? Or I don't know how to write a book. I've never done that. How could I possibly? I had a moment where I shifted that and I said, for so long I said, not me, not me, not me. Who do I think I am? And then I shifted it and I said, well, why not me? Why not me? I have a love for people. I like to make a difference. I have something I feel like I could share with somebody else to help them. Why not me? So that shift in my belief in myself all of a sudden changed things. That night, actually, when I said that to myself, I went home and I started writing on my book. 3 weeks later, I had this entire book done. It was my first book called Winning in Life Now. And the whole thing was done in 3 weeks, which I knew nothing about writing. But what's so ironic is for 12 years, I said I wanted to write a book. But I kept telling myself, you have nothing to say. You have nothing to say. The moment I shifted my belief and I said, you know what, I do have something to say. All of a sudden, I was able to write a book. You see, belief is so powerful. So if you don't believe that you're going to accomplish something, if you don't believe you have what it takes, it's not going to happen. And here's the other side of that. People will believe in you. This is a quote I live by. People will believe in you to the exact degree that you believe in yourself. People will believe in you to the exact degree you believe in yourself. So if you don't believe you are worthy of living your dreams, if you don't believe that you have what it takes, if you don't believe that you are good enough just the way you are, then why would anyone else believe that? People will believe you. But if you turn it around and if you believe that you have something to say and you believe that you can make a difference and you believe that the gifts and all of the passions that you have within you are for a purpose, then other people will believe that too. It's what you put out is what people will accept. So starting today, I want you to believe that no matter what, you have what it takes. You have everything you need within you to be successful. You have those seeds of greatness. I shared my favorite quote of Zig's last video, and that was, man was designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. You have seeds of greatness. They're already there. You just need clarity on knowing what they are and what you want to do with them. And do that in each and every area of your life, starting with the wheel of life and looking at your career, your finances, your personal life, your physical life, your spiritual life, your mental life, your family life. All of those things will give you clues, but you have what it takes. You have to believe it. You have to own it. You have to step into your greatness. And that's when things really start to shift. I love Kim said, why not me and why not now? Absolutely. I have that. I want to say that to all of you. Why not you? You know, there is somebody out there that can benefit from something that you can share with them, whether it's through writing them an email, whether it's through writing a letter, could be through a video, it could be writing a book. It doesn't have to be though. What is it? But get that clarity. And, you know, it's so, so important. Lauren says, yes, our personal energy is powerful. It is. When you walk into a room, if you feel, you know, you're not confident and you have your head down and you're kind of looking around like, oh goodness, nobody wants to talk to me. Do you think that's going to attract people to want to talk to you? Or when you own yourself and say, you know what, I am good enough just the way I am and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to own it, then people are like, oh, Look at her. Look at her energy. Look at him. He feels passionate about himself, and it does start there. So I want you to join us. Like I said earlier, we do have some free webinars coming up. We are here to encourage you, to give you hope, and to give you what you need to make your everyday the best day ever. But you only have today. There's no guarantee for tomorrow. So I want to know, and go ahead and put it in the comments here, what are you going to commit to doing this week, today? What are you going to commit to spending, even if it's 10 minutes, focusing in on yourself? For some of you, it could be maybe you're going to do the exercise, the Wheel of Life that I shared with you. For others, maybe if say you want to write a book, maybe you're going to spend 30 minutes and just start writing. But tell me what it is that you're going to do. We want to help you be accountable, but it starts with first deciding what you want, putting it in action, and then making it happen. And Amy says, nobody wants to spend time with negative people. That is so, so true. You know, and we all have things that we can be negative about. It's not to say that bad things don't happen. It's just a matter of how do we focus our attitude and our energy. And Zig's, T has taught us for years about how important attitude is. And you will also attract what you put out. So you want to be the person that others want to be around. And make it one of the things that I learned this early on when I was working with Zig, and something that I do try to do as much as I can is whenever you're interacting with somebody one-on-one or even in a group, try to make a point of making them feel better just because they spent time with you. It's just a word of encouragement. Maybe it's just a smile, but do something that others want to be near you, that you have something that they desire, and you already have it. It's just a matter of sharing it. Today, Kalitha says, today I will print off the self-talk cards. Awesome. What you tell yourself is the exact result of what you will get. We are those, can think of our mind as the computer. Again, what you put in is the output you're going to get. Cheryl's going to write a book. Love that. Love, love, love that. Don't stop. You have something to say, and it's worth getting in a book. Don't let any fear or anything get in the way of that, because you can do this. Thank you from, Sadir from Commerce, Texas. Thank you for your kind words. We appreciate it. Amy says, that's right. Be happy and enjoy your life. And encouragement for 100%. Augustine, thank you. Thank you for your sweet words. Who else has something they wanted to share? Carla says she needed to hear this today. This is everything I've been working on. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy. And that makes my day. So thank you all. I'm going to close out by just reminding you that you have those seeds of greatness. They're there. You were born with them. You didn't even deserve them. They're just there. But your job is to figure out what they are, and then it's to nourish them and to water them and help them to grow and to flourish. But you have those seeds of greatness. Step into them, own them, and believe that you can do anything you put your mind to. And you really, really can make a difference. So thank you all so much. I'm going to wrap that for today. Make it the best week you've ever had. Go take action and be your best. Thanks.